Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Today's exciting episode is a look back at everything I made last month.
It's perfect. 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 Perfect.
Perfect jacket. Now, before we jump right into the things that I finished last month, let's have a look at what I'm doing at the moment, but they're works in progress. I haven't actually finished the jacket or the dress yet. So this is the jacket that I'm working on at the moment. It's orange and navy, and I've cut it out. And I told myself I was only going to do a little bit of beading, but yeah, you know what I'm like. It's turning into a lot of beading, so that's not finished yet. I've also finished the bodice for the pleating video that's going to be a vintage dress. So, and I've cut up all the sections of the skirt. So that's well on its way as well, but nowhere near finished also. Which is why today's video is a look back at everything I made in August 2023. Gosh, this year is flying by. It's exhausting. Anyway, they're not in chronological order, but they're just sort of in funness order. So this is the scrap dress, red and some pink scraps, and some sort of coral ones in there as well. I have kept a few scraps because I was going to do some patches on the front as well, because I really didn't like the coral stripes. But I don't know, I don't dislike them as much as I did. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just leaving it like this because it's just too much work. No, this is the back. It's lighter. It's got more pink in the back, and I kind of really like that about it. But yeah, I love the dress the way it is, and I'll probably wear it without this 1950s petticoat underneath it. But I might still put the patches on there. I've kept them, but I kind of like it the way it is at the moment. Anyway, next up, we have the patchwork piece that started it all. This is made out of scraps, and this is the Enchanted Forest side. So this is for Sew Reversible, the Sewing Challenge 2023, organised by Anne-Marie from Anne-Marie's Workshop. And this is the Berta pattern, Berta 6123, that I bought to make this reversible quilted jacket. And yeah, so magical forest on the outside, so sort of greens and dark greens with, there's also a spider web in there. And this is it from the back. Oh, this black fabric with the blue flowers on it, I'm using that in the black and white patchwork dress that you will see maybe next week, or later this week at some point. So yeah, I'm working on far too many things at the moment. And then the other side is the Las Vegas at night side. So it's sort of, inky blue with some bright, like really super bright saturated colors. And that's my Ankara fabric, that little orange bit there. I like this sleeve because it's mainly blue and yellow, whereas the rest has bright colors in there as well. I kind of prefer this side, I think, maybe. Oh, with the sleeves here, I decided that they're a little tight on the cuffs. It's nothing too drastic, but I'm used to sort of open cuffs. So in the next jacket, I'll show you, I sort of just slashed the back of the cuffs, and it's much more comfortable. But I really like this jacket for a first time making a pattern. It was really cool. And then next up we have one of the layer cake dresses. It was so much work making that layer cake dress episode, but everyone was really lovely about it, and I made some really gorgeous dresses as well. And this one, until I filmed this dress for that layer cake episode, I really did not notice how white the strawberry flowers are, and there's also some white in the bottom layer. But I really like this dress. There's a sort of warmth to it. It's like mainly black fabrics with a little bit of colour on them. It's really beautiful. I love it. There's something like a mosaic about it or something, or a kaleidoscope. I don't know. There's a warmth about it that I really like, even though I think of it as a black dress. So maybe it's just my mindset and then I'm being surprised by my default perhaps. Anyway, I've pinned it up so you can see what it looks like twirling, because yeah, obviously layer cake dresses look so fabulous in motion. And oh, this is me still trying to decide my favorite fabric. Normally when I make a layer cake dress, I have a very distinctive one or two favorite fabrics in it, but with this one, I don't know, I kind of like them all the same amount. It's very unusual. Normally I have one that I really do like more. Anyway, what are we going to get out next? Oh, my Kelly dress, Kelly green. So this one here, the reason I ended up making this was because of that check seersucker fabric. I just love it. I think it looks good without the sash, but also absolutely adorable with the sash on. And this skirt, oh, just goes on for miles and miles. I love it. There's only 6 yards in this dress. I don't know, I feel like it almost feels as big as my 9-yard dresses, like the yellow one. Also, I saw this dress. It's been on Pinterest for like, I don't know, 5-10 years or something, ages. Anyway, and there's lots of iterations. I mean, I love all green dresses, let's be real. But that checkered one, it's just, I don't normally like checkers, but that green and white checkered one, there's something absolutely gorgeous about it. So yeah, when I saw this fabric, I was like, oh, I have to buy it. I don't want to make exactly that dress because I just don't. I absolutely hate it when people tell me all the time they're going to copy something I've done. I'm like, I did it to be original. Can you just be original in your own way, perhaps? But anyway, so yeah, I only bought 2 yards of the fabric and then I mixed it with a couple of other different fabrics, and I'm really happy with the way that mine turned out. I also still love that inspo dress, but yeah. Anyway, that's why I bought that fabric and that's why that dress exists. Next we have, oh, I love the silk that I used for this. It's just so ridiculous, but you never see the silk lining, so it's just one of those luxurious little details that you alone know. And well, now everyone who watches this channel too, but usually when you're wearing a Chanel style jacket, no one really sees the interior. But I still love having a really good silk as the lining. This is the jacket. Again, I use the Butterick 6123 pattern. And yeah, this is, I'm not sure whether I show you, but this has got the slits in the cuff just so that I can wear it. Because it's embellished, it's sort of more, you know, you don't want to brush your hand against anything anyway. So you always have to be more careful in a jacket that's embellished, just because you have to move in a certain way when you're wearing a heavily beaded jacket so that you protect all the work in it. I really love it. It is a little bit baggy though. So the next one that I made, this one on the right, is just out of it's a Linton tweed from Linton Tweeds in the UK. And yeah, I am going to bead it, but it's not beaded yet. And I just made it because the Butterick pattern only comes in a size 8 is the smallest, and I generally make a size 6. And so I just cropped it a little because I'm very short-waisted, and just brought it in a little bit. I think in the next one that I'm making, the orange and navy one that you can sort of see on the sideboard at the back there, this one, I've taken it in a little at the front, and I've also added in the original pattern Butterick 6123, there's just facing as the like for the tweed on the inside of the front, or the tweed on the lining, but I've separated the two pieces, so I now have a tweed lining piece and the tweed outer front. So I've made them separate pieces so that my lining bit is bigger, because they're just not big enough in the Berta one. In the Berta one, they don't have any lining at all. They just sort of have a little bit turned in as facing. And yeah, so I should have extended it before, but I didn't. So yeah, so now I'll talk about this actual jacket. I'm going to bead it, as I said. Haven't really figured out what sort of colours. Obviously, it's going to be khakis and browns, but haven't really figured out what beads I'm going to use for that. Next is a dress. Oh, I love this fabric. It's a Liberty of London print, And the other one is just like American vintage style posy or floral motif. They're both such gorgeous fabrics. And I love this dress. I did sort of micro pleating rather than pleating at the waistband here, and I really love that. In the patchwork dresses that I'm working on at the moment, using up leftover fabric, I've done the micro pleating at the waist rather than my normal big knife pleats because this dress turned out so cute. Oh, and here I'm pointing out that there's pink in the sash and there's also pink used in the lining, a really pale pink. I absolutely love this dress. I really do. But I have a lot of dresses. So, sort of, but not really. I kind of wish I'd made two shirts, like a cowboy shirt with the American vintage with the white base, and then just like a normal Vogue classic shirt with the Liberty one, and then just kept the rayon for the third fabric for something else. Because I would have loved those two shirts and I would have worn them all the time. But that said, I've got loads of other cotton lawns that I'm going to make vintage style shirts out of. So I'll just wear one of them under this and it can be my, vintage shirt type dress. But yeah, I hardly ever regret using a pattern for one thing and deciding, maybe I should have used it for another. But I don't know. I love this dress. I really do. But yeah, I just kind of want those shirts as well. So yeah, and this one, oh my gosh, I love pink and red together, but I decided to just add the orange tie, and then I was like, oh, I had those beads that I'm just about to cut the strands and use them in that jacket that I'm working on at the moment, but I thought, I'll use them as an accessory in this first before I cut them and use them in that jacket. And this looks so good. Red and pink and orange look awesome together. I'm definitely going to make that in my plans for this month. I showed a cotton lawn that's got rose hips and berries, autumn berries, and it would look absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to make it into a vintage shirt and it would look absolutely gorgeous under this dress. Because I tend not to wear dresses just as dresses. I tend to wear them as jumper dresses, like with something else underneath, either a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, or a vintage shirt. So yeah, I just think orange just lifts this. I mean, I already love red and pink together, but with the orange tie, it's so completely adorable. I love it. It just takes it up a notch. So cute. And I'll eat a packet of Starburst as well. I love the colours of Starburst. So yes. Ooh, and I have a yellow fabric that's got polka dots. I could go Starburst Fantastic. Anyhow, so the next one, we don't have many left. Next one, I think we'll go, the keyhole dress. I love this pattern. It was actually a pattern for a blouse and a top, and I turned it into the bodice of a dress. And I just love this. It's such a cute bodice. I am going to have to use it when I've still got loads of dresses to make from all those leftovers. And I think I'll have to do another keyhole bodice because they are so cute. I think I like it better when the keyhole is slightly smaller, but I absolutely love this dress. I decided I pinned it up too high. So then I pinned the skirt down a little lower. So it doesn't twirl as much, so it just looked a little ridiculous when I pinned it too high. But I love this dress, and this is me reminding myself I have to use the keyhole bodice. But I kind of want to do pieced bodices as well, like not just one whole fabric, lots of stripes of different fabrics. So I'm not sure whether you can do a keyhole and different stripes pieced together. I think that might be a little bit too busy. We will see. I guess I can just experiment, and if it doesn't look good, I can just unpick it and do something else. Anyway, next we have this dress. Oh my gosh, I love this dress. I love it so much. And yeah, I liked the orange beads so much on the other one that I decided to put them on with this one as well. This graffiti fabric that I bought, I only bought like a yard of it, I think. It's so weird and interesting, and it's got Maleficent, the European fairy tale character. Such a interesting fabric, and I do really, really like this sash with it in purples and hot pinks. But I decided to put a sash on that's sort of white based. So I think I do it in a minute, so that to pick out those, because there's a couple of layers that are they have a white base, whereas yeah, there's just so much color in the skirt. I was like, oh, maybe if I put on a white sash, it will sort of bring out the non-glaringly colorful ones. So this is my vintage tulips tie. I have a dress that matches that sash, and I think these look really good together. I'd probably put it with the Gucci-esque tie in future, the one with the bumblebees and butterflies and flowers that looks a little bit Gucci-ish, and it's got a white base. Anyway, but I love this dress, and I sort of pinned it so you can see some of the back with those donut things. Yeah, I love this dress. It was absolutely exhausting to make. It's exhausting just looking at it, remembering how much work went into it. But yeah, definitely. There's sometimes been some fabrics where I'm like, oh, I love it, and it would be such a challenge to use, but I'll leave it or I'll put it back. And now seeing what this one looks like, I'm like, no. In future, I will absolutely grab them. And this is me saying the top is slightly asymmetrical, but not asymmetrical enough. So I'm thinking maybe next time I make one of those pieced bodices and I'm using strips that are uneven, I'll sort of, make it like, you know how candy cane sort of twirls around? I could just make the piece bigger, like make it straight lines and then tilt it before I cut out the pattern piece. That's probably the easiest way to do it. But I kind of like the idea of the lines actually getting bigger as well. Anyway, I love this combination, and you can wear, like, if you wore a hot pink shirt underneath it, long sleeve t-shirt underneath it, or a yellow sleeve or a shirt underneath it, you can just do so much with it. I love this. It was so much work, but I'm really glad I have it. I'm very proud of that one because, the whole of the time I was making it, I was like, this is a train wreck. This is an absolute train wreck. Anyway, and I was happy it wasn't. Relieved. Anyway, this is another saved from being a UFO for the rest of its life. This was actually two dresses. The Butterick 6055 is a vintage 1950s dress, and it's absolutely adorable. It's kind of like a diner, those waitress in a diner, that sort of very iconic uniform they wear. And so I had a red one and a green one, and I mushed them together as one, and I love it. Now the next one is, and I forgot to show you what it looks like with the skirt flared out. So I'm not sure you really needed to see that, but yes, I do like pinning them up. They just look so cute like that. They just look so cute. Anyway, so as well as making the pink and green dress with the lotus bodice, I also made the spare one. I think of them as water lilies. I know they're lotus. Anyway, so I'm going to use it, but I'll put it away for now because I don't know what I'm going to use it on. I think I'll use it. I've got these sort of purpley red ones. I think I might use it with them, and pinks, and I'm not sure. I'll just put it in with the scraps. I've got a couple of other leftover projects that I have very clear ideas on. So I'll do those ones first and then see what's next after that. Because there's no point having millions of ideas if you can only do one thing at once, says the person who's making like two dresses and a jacket at the moment. But you know what I mean. I really do love the way this pink and green one turned out. If I had my time again, but I was sort of going blind. I was going, okay, I'll just sort of sew stuff together and then I maybe do this, maybe do that. And I think if I had my time again, I think it would look better if more of the darker green bits were at the top and more of the lighter green bits were at the bottom. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, as I said, I did not know how this was going to go together. I did not know how many yards of fabric I was going to get out of it. I had no idea I was going to get a whole 4 tiers out of this. I'm really impressed with the amount of fabric I ended up making from it. So yeah, I love that dress. It's absolutely beautiful. A little heavy, but absolutely beautiful. And then we have the jacket. The sewing pattern I used is Vogue 7975. It's a great pattern for all body shapes and sizes. It's princess seams, which means that it's quite easy to do a full bust adjustment, but also if you have big or small shoulders, because the princess seam is there, you just take a little off each side of the princess seam and a little off each side, the left and the right. And also, yeah, the princess seams in the back allow you to cater for if you have a sort of hunchback or a broader back. Yeah, I just found because it's got so many points where you can tweak the pattern, I just think it's a really good one. And the instructions are very clear, in my opinion. So, and I cropped mine down because I have a short waist. Anyway, yeah, I've made over 80 jackets, finished jackets, and I've got a couple, like many more, waiting to be beaded. So I feel kind of guilty, like I should just buy another pattern because I've got so much value out of it. But anyway, I love this jacket. It took me a year to finish the beading on it, but so worth it. It's gorgeous. I mean, I hate finishing each Chanel tweed because I don't think I'll ever be able to buy any more, but at least you get to wear it now. So yeah, there is that. But working on them is such a pleasure. That is it for all the things that I made last month. It is less than what I usually make in a month, but there were really detailed layer cake dresses and embellished jackets. I'm really proud of what I achieved in August 2023. And now I must return to this beading because it's not going to embellish it itself. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were inspired to use up your leftover fabric or buy some really weird fabric and make yourself a very eccentric layer cake dress. They are so much darn fun. You should do it. You should definitely collect like a dozen really unique fabrics and then make a dress out of them. Happy sewing!